welcome to 50 Movies in 50 Weeks. I'm your host, Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through all 50 movies in this 50 movie box set from Mill Creek in 50 weeks. The movie I watched today was called The Fatal Hour from 1940. So this is a movie I went in completely blind. I had no idea what it was. I just put it on. Not a lot of the movies we've seen so far has benefited from that. Like a lot of them I've seen on Mystery Science Theater or on other, cheapo box sets I had when I was a kid. This I had never seen before. So that was pretty exciting for me. This is not a horror film. It does deal with the macabre, but it's not a horror movie. This is a detective mystery thing. And I've noticed that, let's say, the Sci-fi box sets I did the past 2 years, they had a lot of sword and sandal and sword and sorcery movies. In my opinion, not sci-fi. There's an argument that, fantasy and sci-fi go together. I don't agree with that, but there's an argument there. This, instead of having sword and sandal movies, it seems that they have a lot of murder mysteries on here. And I'm far more open to that than the sword and sandal movies. Don't get me wrong, I do like an occasional sword and sandal movie, but I like them to be of high quality. The Italian knockoff movies I'm not a fan of. I love Italian knockoff movies, just not the sword and sandal ones. I do have some exceptions. I do like Lucio Fulci's Conquest, but they're very few and far between. But this is a murder mystery, and I actually love murder mysteries. I could watch murder mystery procedurals, cop shows. I could watch that forever. I love procedurals, medical procedurals, cop procedurals, law procedurals. I don't watch them as much anymore, but if I'm trapped in a room and all they have is the A&E or whatever channel always plays those things, I'll watch them and I'll be engaged and I'll be like into it. And The Fatal Hour is based on a series of novels or short stories about a Detective Wong. And before I even looked it up, I was like, is this a Charlie Chan situation? Because it says based on the Detective Wong books. And I was like, oh no, is this a Charlie Chan situation? And I look, and yes, it is. Detective Wong is a Charlie Chan type figure, yellow face and all. It has Boris Karloff in yellowface, and I want to say it's not as bad as Charlie Chan, because Detective Wong is not really in this movie a whole lot. There's actually another character who is like the hip girl journalist who's looking for her big scoop, that character trope. And I feel like she has just as much screen time as Detective Wong. There is another detective in this who seems to do a greater deal of the legwork. He seems to do a lot more of the detecting. Detective Wong seems to just kind of like appear here and there, and he kind of like confronts the bad guys, but doesn't really do a whole lot. He seems to be a very ineffective detective until the very end of the movie when they reveal like the plot. The reveal in this movie, I'm not going to give it away just in case you watch it, but the reveal of this movie is spot on. I liked it. As a fan of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, they do the big reveal where the detective pulls a fast one over the murderer and he shows the murderer how they did it. I liked that stuff. It was the journey there that was not a whole lot of fun. It was more so a collection of scenes. It's an interesting enough murder mystery. It just didn't come together super well. And for a movie that was only an hour long, it felt longer, and I think it was just the structure of it that didn't really appeal to me. Boris Karloff's performance is the same performance he gives in everything. He doesn't feel like he's doing too much of a yellowface performance. He feels like he's just in yellowface giving a Boris Karloff performance. There's a couple times where he kind of like does the accent, but it's not nearly as bad as I feared when I came to the realization of what was happening. And overall, I think I had fun with it. A little time capsule of the racism that was so common. It was that sounds really bad for me, but it's just interesting that was considered okay at that point in time. They couldn't just hire an Asian actor to play him. which is interesting because I don't think, to my knowledge, and I may be spreading false information here, but I don't think Charlie Chan has ever been played by an Asian. But apparently Detective Wong has been played by an Asian. Out of like the 5 or 6 movies with Detective Wong, I found that only one of them actually stars an Asian as the title character. And that's interesting to me. It almost makes me want to go out and watch it. And who knows, maybe I will in my free time. I think that's all I have to say for now. An okay murder mystery. It's not terrible, unless you can't get past the yellow face, which is completely understandable. But yeah, not terrible. Decent murder mystery if you like Charlie Chan or Detective Wong. I've never heard of him until this point, but if you like that sort of thing, it's an okay time. Definitely a movie I feel like you'd want to watch while doing something else, like cleaning or drawing or something. That's just me, but yeah, it was okay. I will see you next week. Thank you for watching, and be kind and rewind.